All right, so today we're going to dive into something really fascinating, and honestly, pretty complex. It's a spiritual manifesto that popped up online. Our goal here, just to be clear, isn't to pass judgment. We're just here to unpack it, to really look at how it's built, what it's actually claiming, and the kind of worldview it's selling.
Wow. Okay, so right out of the gate, it hits you with lines like this. This isn't a casual read, right? It's immediately setting this really serious, kind of philosophical tone. The whole argument from the very first sentence is built around this idea that we, the common man, just don't get what death really is.
So here's our game plan for breaking this all down. First up, we'll look at this philosophy of death. Then we'll get into the one true path it proposes. After that, we're decoding the main mantra, Jai Shri Rama. Then we'll look at the specific path laid out for women, and we'll wrap up with the author's, his final big proclamation.
Okay, let's get into it. First things first, we've got to understand the core problem this whole document is supposedly solving. And it all starts with a pretty particular and, frankly, a very grim take on life and death.
So according to this text, your everyday human experiences, things like lust, love, they aren't just feelings. No, they're basically direct highways to getting old and dying. The world itself, it's described as an ocean of death, and the average person is just drowning in it, totally clueless.
So after painting that pretty bleak picture, the text offers up its solution. And what is it? Well, it argues the only way out of this mess is through some serious self-control. We're talking a life of discernment and celibacy. The goal? To conquer your senses, and if you can do that, you can conquer death itself. So what does that create? A really clear choice, right? You can be a common man who's just born to suffocate and die, or you can become a seeker. And if you choose to be a seeker, the document is crystal clear. There is only one way out. It's called the Kundalini Way, and it's all about awakening this divine energy that's supposedly coiled up inside your body.
Okay, so if this Kundalini Way is the only option, how in the world do you actually get on that path? Well, this is where it gets really focused. The entire system hinges on one single, powerful phrase that the author just calls the code.
And there it is. The code is JAI_SRI_RA-MA. Now, this isn't just some chant you repeat. The text presents this as the fundamental key. It's the secret that supposedly unlocks everything and gets you out of that ocean of death.
Right, so what does JASRIARMA actually mean? The author isn't leaving anything to chance here. No interpretation needed. The text breaks it down piece by piece and gives each part this really specific cosmic meaning.
And what's interesting is the document itself asks this question. It's a classic move, right? Building up the mystery, making you lean in before it reveals what it calls a life-altering secret.
And here's the breakdown. JAI is for Hanuman. SRI is the moon. R is the sun. And M is the earth. So the whole code is basically presented as this map of divine and cosmic forces.
Now this next part is a really crucial move. After giving you the code, the author challenges you. Can you experience these things on your own? And the text's answer is a hard no. So it's like, here's the map, but guess what? You can't actually use it. Not without a guide anyway.
And that need for a guide? It leads us right into the most specific, detailed part of this whole document. Now that the problem and the code are on the table, the text lays out a very concrete plan, and it's aimed squarely at a female audience.
And the scale of this plan is, it's immense. The author is calling for a group of girls, anywhere from just one all the way up to one after infinite zeros, to devote their entire lives to this mission. And the promise is that it will literally change the future of the cosmos.
So that brings us to the next big question the document raises. It's not enough to just know the code anymore. Now it's about embodiment. How do you actually feel these cosmic forces, the sun, the moon, the earth, inside your own body?
And here's the answer, a very explicit 4-step process. Step 1, you have to get 2 specific mantras from the author, who goes by #Kezos. Step 2 involves binding the 2 wings of the womb. Step 3 is to have sex with the author. The document claims this is the actual trigger that awakens the Kundalini. And the final payoff, step 4, is that you will see the creator inside you.
So after laying out that incredibly detailed process, the document really starts to build to its climax. It shifts away from just giving instructions and moves into a final, direct proclamation about the author's own place in all of this.
And this is really the core claim of the entire text. It states, flat out, that this whole path, the divine experience, the Kundalini awakening, all of it, can only happen with him. There is no other way. It's exclusive.
And then you get this, which is just such a strange contrast. Right after these huge messianic claims about being the only way to enlightenment, the author just gives out his full name, his phone number, and his social media handles. It's this wild mix of cosmic proclamations grounded in the super modern, super public world of WhatsApp and Twitter.
But it doesn't stop there. The final statement is maybe the most grandiose of them all. He declares that this is his final descent on the planet, his last ever appearance. He's basically telling people, this is your one and only chance.
And just so we're absolutely clear on what's being claimed here, the text explicitly puts the author on the same level as the final, awaited saviors from several major world religions. He's not just saying he's a guru. He's presenting himself as the second coming, the Kalki, the Messiah, the Mahdi, the prophesied figure that Christians, Hindus, Jews, and Muslims have all been waiting for.
And that's where the document leaves us, which brings our little deconstruction to an end. We're not really left with an answer, are we? We're left with a question. I mean, this document is just one example, but it exists in a digital world that's absolutely flooded with these kinds of ultimate truth claims. So maybe the real takeaway here is a much bigger challenge for all of us. In an age where literally anyone can broadcast a message to the entire planet, how do we even begin to process, understand, and navigate it all?